talking about somebody's vocabulary, we don't usually talk about how many names you know. It's more like how many common nouns and verbs and adverbs and so on. So really that is kind of distorting the result a little bit. How many non-names are there? How many, I mean, it's hard to say. Antarctic. Not many. Okay, here's one. Here's our first clear one. Biogeochemical. Co-number. Farmland. Interesting. Okay, that, if you split it, farm, space, land, it would be very common, but not often written together. Feedback, I'm surprised at why it's there. Feedbacks, okay, that's unusual. We don't usually pluralise. It's usually an uncountable noun, but you can use it in climate science and certain science areas in the plural, so that's why it's rare. Feedstock, fresh water as one word. Usually fresh water, very common, isn't it? Fresh water as one, not so common. And that's quite high. Look at 7 of those, etc., etc. So there's probably like 10 to 20% of those are real words. I'll talk in a minute about how to eliminate that variable, you know, that distortion from your results. It's a bit complicated what to do, so I won't at this stage because quite a lot of information at the moment. But anyway, next section, families as usual for the various bands. And look, just have a look at your work and say, and have a look, oh, what advanced words am I using? Oh, well, at 9,000, I used aerosol, I used aquifer. That's pretty cool. Yeah, calamity. You know, I mean, use it as a bit of a kind of a confidence booster in a way. See, this will tell you what you can do, not just what you can't. It will tell you what you can. Where are you strong? What do you already know? And, you know, you can get a bit of a kick from seeing some active use of words at quite high levels. Alright, there you go. That's the vocabulary profile, and you know, it's not going to analyse all of your writing in all aspects, but it will, it's like, as I said, it's like a mirror about one aspect of your writing. And you can look at it and see what happens. If you do that transformation of the blue words to other higher words, of course, remember our 95% point? That should shift as well, shouldn't it? So 2 questions after you've done that work. Where is your cliff and where is the 95% point? They're 2 slightly different things, or very different things. Is that making sense, the whole thing? Why don't I switch you back to you? And
before you switch back
yeah.
to give quickly a quick idea about how to start.
Okay. Yeah, where to find it? Yeah. If we go back to the diploma Moodle, under writing, there's about a dozen links down. Vocabulary profiler. That's where we are. You go in there, and yeah. So those who are late, you just need this. Why is that not opening? I don't know. Why is that not opening? You should get to this anyway. You get to that page, and then the first one we looked at was the classic. That's where it will tell you your academic word list, and you click in that box. Just Control A. Select it all, delete it. Just delete the instructions in there. Go and get your essay, paste it in there. Control V. Hit submit. That's the process. And do it with just the 2 profiles we've looked at. This one, the classic, and we looked at that one as well, BNC 20. If you want to test out your French, you can do it there. That's it. Alright, so I'll switch you back. As I mentioned on Friday, hopefully you've got your essay. Put your essay in, see what sort of result. Just start with the BNC, the first classic one. See what academic word list words you're using. If, for some reason, you don't have your essay with you, just open up any other website that has a kind of, I guess, an academic feel. You could take an ABC science text. You could just go to an essay you know in English that's of some sort of academic quality. Put it in and just practice looking at the data.
What about if you have other people's essays that you want to use? Can you use that?
Other people's essays?
No, your essay, previous essays.
Previous essays, sure, yeah. But you key, I mean, given that you're working on an essay now for assessment, put the current piece you've written in. Yeah, try and get feedback on that first. That's your number one priority.
Is it the VP Classic and the
VP Classic and the BNC Classic.
What's the difference?
Did you miss the first?
Yeah,
okay. The BNC 20 will only analyse first 1,000 words, second 1,000 words, and academic word list.
Okay.
It will tell you how many words you're using from the academic word list.
We're just going
If you came in late, have a look. I'll demonstrate the BNC Classic again, just quickly. Okay, here we are, the BP Classic. Other people, just get on with what you're doing. Okay, so we paste the text in there. Hit submit. And this is what it will do. It gives you a figure, a percentage of the first 1,000 words in English of this text. 73% of this text is first 1,000 words. The next 1,000, 6.86, almost 7%. Now, here, this is important. Guys, can you just whisper so that others can just hear me for this 5 minutes? Thanks. Here, academic word list, words, 6.2% of this text is academic word list words, and there's the remainder.
And should be?
Now,
should be
usually 8 to 10. You should be trying to get 8 to 10. This is low.
So that's what we're aiming for?
Yeah, the reason this is low is because they're using a lot of other advanced vocabulary in the off list. It's not like they're writing simply. But look, as we go down, again we see the colour coding there. And we go down further, we see the breakdown of the first 1,000, etc. They're all your blue words broken down into groups of 500. Now, what we then get is academic word. I think one of the key things here is academic word list words. It will tell you the sublists. You know, here, sublist 3, these writers use these words, academic word list words from sublist 3, etc. So you get a sublist breakdown, and there are your off list. Alright, can you see how it's different from the other one we were looking at? Because the other one, if we go back, the other one, actually, let's go back again. So, I'm just going to go back to see. No, I'm still not getting this thing working. They're saying like this will tell you how many Germanic and how many Latin words you're using. It's not working.
Is that the BNC one?
Yeah, that's the BNC. Now, if we use the other one, sorry, no, that's not the BNC. That was the classic. That was the classic. If we use the BNC, this was the one when you came in, you would have seen me working with this one.
Yeah.
And just the difference is that we get a more detailed breakdown. We see the first 1,000, second 1,000, but third, fourth, we see all these. It's sort of been sliced, many slices. The first one we just saw, the first 1,000, then the second 1,000, and then academic word list, and remainder. Here we get many, many slices. So you can see the vocabulary bands right down to 25,000. You don't see an academic word list breakdown in this one, but you get more information about the words in the bands. Okay? Okay, that's the difference. Give your piece a go, see what you discover.